Teachers relating to students. When visiting Chicago and observing the classrooms in King College Prep, I noticed that the students were somewhat rambunctious and uninterested in what the teacher was saying. I noticed that the teachers in the classroom that I visited were not of the same ethnicity as the students. The material that the teachers were teaching seemed to lose the students' interest and cause them to talk with their peers instead of listening to the teacher. So, a question emerged. If teachers made the material covered in class more interesting and more culturally relevant to the students, would they perform better? Some research has shown that relating coursework that may be uninteresting to a student's personal life can make it seem more interesting. Perhaps urban educators are afraid to do this because it may upset students' parents and cause them to feel as though the teacher is being too invasive. Teachers should relate material to things that interest the children at specific times of their lives, not to personal things such as family or friendships. In an article by Urie Bronfenbrenner, he is quoted as saying, "This formation points to the necessity of going beyond the simple labels of class and culture to identify more specific social and psychological features at the macro system level that ultimately affect the particular conditions and processes occurring in the microsystem." By understanding this bigger picture of an urban student, culture, class, and customs, a teacher can understand more about why a student is interacting the way he is with his peers and solve the problem. Learning about students' backgrounds in teaching is also important. In a quote from Gloria Ladson-Billings, she states, "Teachers who are prepared to help students become culturally competent are themselves culturally competent." In order to become a successful teacher in an urban district comprised of students from a variety of ethnicities, one must study their students. It is not right for a white teacher to try and ignore a race or teach as if the class was filled with students of her own race. Race is an important characteristic of a classroom, and good urban teachers should want to learn more about their students' backgrounds. Through all this research about whether or not students learn better when the course material is culturally relevant to them, I began to form another question. Are teachers who are of a different ethnicity than the majority of their students required to have knowledge about the cultures of their students? So what are teachers themselves being taught? Some research has shown that teachers are not required to have any education relating to anthropology or diverse cultures. A lot of the country's education programs elaborate on subjects such as social science or psychology. Although social science and psychology of students are important in urban schools, learning about diversity in other cultures can be vital for teachers who have students that are from different ethnicities in their classrooms. However, in another article that I found online, there is a push for more training according to some sources. The National Council for Accreditation of Teacher Education is promoting multicultural education for elementary, secondary,